Rest won out over rust Friday night. After a 20-day respite, the second-ranked Rainbow Warrior volleyball team defeated number 8 Stanford in straight sets. And it was the Bulgarian basher, Rado Potapunov, who swung the hammer for Hawaii, putting down a team-high 17 kills to go along with 4 stuffs. Up next, a Super Sunday rematch between the Stanford Cardinal and the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. And with that, we welcome you inside the Stan Sheriff Center for what is clearly the biggest sporting event of the day. Hawaii and Stanford. Kanoa Leahy alongside Ryan Calais. Susie Ryan, take us through the Kaiser Permanente keys to the match.
Well, on this Super Bowl Sunday, the keys to the match. First for Stanford, they have got to track Joe Montana. That's Joe Montana Worsley. He is running an offense that is hard to stop, and they're going to have to find a way to settle that. And for Hawaii, it's Super Bowl Sunday. They've got to basically do a carbon copy of what happened on Friday night and end on top.
They were pretty super on Friday. So was Gage Worsley, had 11 digs, the one-handed dig there, and it sets up Rado Potapunov. So 2 of the standouts from a couple of nights ago, Gage Worsley at the libero position, and Rado Potapunov, who had a team-high 17 kills, hitting .375 the other night. The Hawaiian Financial FCU starting lineup scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Joe Worsley to serve. He was rooting for the Patriots, a big Tom Brady fan. That one is hammered down by Kyler Presho, 6'8" sophomore from San Clemente, California. He is the son of Mark Presho, former standout right here at the University of Hawaii, current assistant for the UC Irvine men's program.
One of the few bright spots for Stanford on Friday night. He hit .750 on 6 kills. Look for him to be more active going into tonight's matchup. Stanford will need him and his offensive kills if they're going to have a shot at taking down the Warriors.
Just the second loss of the season issued to the Cardinal the other night as Pat Gassman tears into that set from Joe Worsley. So Stanford coming in overall 7-2, Hawaii 4-0. Both losses for the Cardinal, interestingly enough, came against teams who, at the time, were ranked second in the nation. The first time around, it was UC Irvine.
Well, they split a match earlier this year against Irvine. Hawaii hoping to sweep and not have the same thing happen to Irvine. That's going to hopefully not happen to them tonight.
2 serving 1, it's Stein. Von Tilburg catches a piece of the tape. They go D set to Jalen Jasper. And I think Stein may have gotten a piece in that back row. Jalen Jasper, the 6'7" sophomore, jumps out of the building, touches over 12 feet. And we talked the other night about his Hawaii connection. His dad is former University of Hawaii quarterback Ivan Jasper, now the offensive coordinator at Navy. Ivan, mom Donna, who is a former UH basketball player, and younger bro Jaron were in the house the other night. Haven't seen them just yet. Haven't spotted them in the stands here tonight as Pat Gassman once again rips it down. Gassman with 7 kills on 8 swings the other night.
Take a look here. Another 3 set. So Hawaii really doing a nice job of establishing that middle early. Gassman having his best night as a Warrior this season on Friday night, looking to continue to keep that hitting percentage high.
That's a middle set. The dig in the back row by Gassman. How about the second touch there by Joe? They go back row, and it's Jordan Ewert dug up by Worsley. Colton Cowell from behind the line. That's dug up by Kyle D'Agostino. Here comes Jasper. Blocked back. Stanford stays with it. Then they go quick middle. Stephen Moy. And he's able to get the point after a lengthy rally.
Well, Hawaii's defense on display. Pat Gassman saying, hey, I can play defense soon. Nice dig in the middle back. And you see here, again, the put down in the middle. Stanford looking much crisper here in night number 2.
Yeah, give Pat the libero jersey already. After guarding the back line right there. Here's Cowell rising up. Off the block, kept alive by Ewert. Jasper again goes over the block, but guarding that in line was Stein. Here's Rado. Off the double block, punched up in the air by Von Tilburg. Bumps at Worsley, and that hits the top official, the R1, Dixon Chun, who's atop the ladder. Dan Hironaka down on the floor, Melinda Rusher and Randy Rubinall, the 2 line judges. Stanford already off to a better start in set 1 than what they experienced the other night. Serve goes long. Hawaii would win. Running away in that first stanza on Friday, 25-15, and then it was much more competitive the next 2 sets. Not much that you could point out in terms of areas where Hawaii could play better, but Charlie Wade, always the perfectionist, did say, I think we can still serve a little better, maybe serve the seams better than we did the other night. As Jasper is dug up, it was the two Worsley brothers who were sort of linked up there in the middle of the floor, waiting for somebody else to back them up, but nobody was there.
Hawaii doing a switch blocking that time, sending Joe Worsley to the left, sending Colton Cowell going up against Jasper. That's a matchup we saw on Friday night as they're putting their biggest jumper against Jasper.
So early 1-point lead here for the Cardinal. Colton Cowell hanging in the air, dug up there by Paul Bischoff, the setter. Here comes Ewert. And we got a joust at the net is what it turned into, and a net violation called against the 6'4" senior from Antioch, California.
And Ewert is going to be a player to watch. We can see here he follows through into the net and antenna on Friday night. Ewert, 14 kills, hit .241 with 10 digs. He was by far the player that Stanford looked to the most in that 3-set loss.
The MPSF Conference Player of the Week back on January 21st. Here's Cowell on the pipe set. And that's his first kill of the match.
Colton Cowell comes flying out of the back row, but first this great serve to start the overpass. Waterpapunov does a nice job keeping control of that pass, and then Cowell comes screaming in from the back of the row.
Did a great job serving the other night. 2 aces against Stanford, but tough serves throughout. As Ewert tries to go line, hits the pin, and it's a point for Hawaii. They're up 2.
And Cowell, who was a serving specialist the first 2 seasons here in Hawaii, really developing that serving repertoire there, going from corner to corner. We'll see where he goes this time around.
3 straight points for the Rainbow Warriors. Another heater from Cowell. And the block in the middle by Dalton Solbrig. That one hit the big screen up top. Stanford able to play it, and now we'll have a net violation against Stanford. And so that's a Hawaii point.
And Dalton Solbrig is fired up. A celebration after that play. Solbrig has had his hands on 3 attempts by Stanford, shutting them down each time.
Ball hit the scoreboard up top. If it stays on that side of the net, it is playable, and so that's why that sequence played on. Here's Jasper against a solo block, and he went OTT on SVT. Thank you. It's Super Bowl Sunday.
See this high hit by Jasper. He will be a player that Stanford will need to get going in this match. Only hit 130 like on Friday night.
They go slide to Solbrig, a new wrinkle in the Hawaii offense this year. But Stanford plays it back, and Jasper winds up with the kill. That is certainly something that Stanford has not seen much of from their side of the net, but they handled it well that time.
But we did not see that at all on Friday. The first time we saw it in this series, but we know that Dalton Solbrig likes hitting that slide, has great foot speed. We'll see if they set him that again at some point tonight.
Good pass there by Stein. He gets the set on the outside. The touch shot pulls the string. Stein von Tilburg tied for the team lead with Parapunov in kills per set. Didn't hit for his best percentage the other night, just 167. Still had 11 kills, though, but for Hawaii to be able to put off a sweep without Stein hitting at a really high clip, that speaks volumes.
That time, a nice, smart play. The set was a little low. He just kept it in play, tipped it over the block.
Outside, it's Ewert. Worsley roofs him. Joe just stayed elevated above the net.
It's a great tip here for all you young fans watching. If there is a tip coming, you want to be the last person to touch the ball. You can see he waits, and then at the last second, recognizes the tip, and follows through back into the ball.
Listed at just 6'1", and he was levitating on that block. And an ace dealt out the deck by Dalton Solbrig. And it's that Rainbow Warriors snowball effect that we have seen so many times already in this very young 2019 season. Timeout, Stanford. Welcome back. Let's go inside the numbers presented by Heineken. The number is 16.6. That's the average points allowed per set by Hawaii this season. The Rainbow Warriors yet to lose a set here in 2019. And they have been dominant, but certainly this weekend has presented the highest caliber competition for the Rainbow Warriors. They handled it well the other night. Stanford able to keep this sequence alive. Worsley goes middle to Gassman, who bounces it off the Terraflex.
And Hawaii thinking that there was a net violation at some point, continuing on, playing the whistle, getting a free ball opportunity, and again, Gassman going hard in the middle. Very difficult to stop that 31 set that Hawaii's middles run so well.
12 serving 7. Hawaii creating a little bit of breathing room. A 4-0 run, largest lead of this first frame. And Solberg catches that end line. That's the second ace of this service run here for Dalton Solberg. And again, it's these kinds of runs, Ryan, they happen in a hurry for Hawaii.
Again, goes to show just how good of a serving team this Hawaii team is. They work extensively on their serve in the offseason, and it's really proving to play out well for them right now.
Middle set, and that's Presho doing some bouncing of his own. All MPSF honorable mention last year as a freshman, rated 6th in the league with a .410 hitting percentage. Service error by Stanford. That's their second service error here of this first set. And we were talking with head coach John Costi in his 13th season, and his philosophy regarding the service approach certainly different, a stark contrast to what we hear from Charlie Wade, as you see Worsley trying to turn on the boosters from the service line.
Yeah, Costi encouraging his team to be more consistent from behind the service line as opposed to putting a lot of pressure and recklessly serving. He feels that their defense is strong enough to play behind their serving.
Another dink there by Stein. He thought it went down, and now they will say that it went down. It was a late whistle, but it's a point for Hawaii. Charlie Wade was ready to jump onto the floor to protest the non-call initially. Let's take a look.
You see here, just not able to quite get his hand under there. The spatula was late. No pancake there.
Hawaii first to 15. Timeout on the floor. Welcome back. Let's check out the First Hawaiian Bank top 3. This is NCAA team aces per set. The UCLA Bruins, they're up top, but only by a very small margin over the Rainbow Warriors. Already 2 aces so far in this first set for Hawaii, but alas, an outserve by Stein von Tilburg out of the timeout. Hawaii up 15-10 here in this opening stanza. And we have Mason Tufunga into the game and back to serve. We didn't see him on Friday. Straddling the line, the pass by Stein, the set to Gassman in the middle, and that connection for the first time tonight wasn't quite on point. Credit the block to Stephen Moy.
Yeah, hard play to make. You can see here on the replay, Gassman actually coming all the way from right front, hitting back into the middle. It's a harder connection to make coming from that angle.
Pass there by Gage Worsley. Here's Rado. Another Rado rip. Great pass by Gage Worsley. How good was Gage the other night, by the way?
You just look at his intensity for one thing, and really just his ability to read attackers. He's got his hands on a lot of plays for Hawaii, and really I think it's just the energy behind this team. When he gets going, this team rides him.
He was picking up some bombs. We mentioned 11 digs. Many of them were the kind that were unimpeded. No touch on the block. It was just straight dig action. And he said a couple of times he didn't see the ball and was still able to conjure up the saves. Jakob Tella with the serve. Oh, flying in from the back row, Jordan Ewert.
Ewert showing that they too can run that big play. Gassman going up, Solberg going up with the middle that time, getting stuck, presenting an opportunity for Ewert to get his kill.
So here's Bischoff with the serve. Pass by Gage, set by Joe, and Cowell just lays the lumber.
And again, a new wrinkle, the 3-2 play. Take a look at here. They run Dalton Solberg on the 3. They bring Colton Cowell in for the 2 set, a higher tempo middle play. You don't see that very often anymore. Great execution, and yet another new wrinkle for Hawaii's offense.
So 17 serving 12. Here it comes from Parapunov. Tickles the tape. They go backside. And the swing by Leo Henkin is dug up. Cowell will get the set on the opposite side. Didn't have the best angle and still tooled the block for the point.
Again, Hawaii moving into a situational blocking. That time Cowell coming back off to the right. And Joe Worsley actually setting from left front. Cowell doing a wrist away off Jasper to get, okay, you can see his numbers from Friday night. 6 kills, hitting .357.
You called it in the open, Ryan. You were suggesting, hey, look, if you want to get nitpicky about it, maybe Colton Cowell's a guy who they can look to set a little bit more here tonight. We've seen him a couple of times here early. Diving save by Gage Worsley to keep the play alive. Middle set, Moy, one-hand dig by Gage. Joe Worsley's going to take the swing, and he goes off the block and out. How about the roll reversal? Stein to Joe.
Yeah, great play by the Worsley brothers. You can see Gage actually rolling his shoulder here after this play. Looks like he's going to be okay, but how about the play by Joe Worsley to get the kill? Stein Toberg sending him on the left side because of that switch blocking, gets a kill.
That was just amazing, and you're right. Gage was grimacing in some discomfort. But even he lets out a smile after the Rado Parapunov ace, and another timeout signaled by the Cardinal. Another 4-0 rainbow run. And Hawaii opening things up here in this first set.
Parapunov, one of the best servers in the country, and this is going up against a 4-man passing pattern. You can see all 4 passers for Stanford in that line there, and still Rado finds a way to get an ace.
So good look at Rado there. Gage Worsley standing right in front of him. He's kind of trying to work out that right shoulder. Looked like he suffered a bit of a stinger after that earlier save, and so he's continually trying to loosen this up here during the timeout.
Yeah, that's one player. Neither of the Worsleys, Hawaii can not afford those guys to go down, but you know, they are tough players. They have really grown up in the sport, as we mentioned on Friday night, and it'll take a lot to get these guys off the court.
UH fans, you can select your exact seat locations when purchasing individual game tickets at hawaiiathletics.com. Click on the tickets button to print your tickets. Avoid the lines by going online. Hawaii hitting .556. Meanwhile, Stanford at a 174 clip. And, you know, we said it a couple of times the other night. I mean, this is a good Stanford team. They beat the then #2 ranked team in the country in UC Irvine. Basically split a pair of matches with the Anteaters. It shouldn't, as it did in the first set the other night, and as it seems to appear here in this opening frame, it shouldn't look this easy.
I think it just goes to show just how good Hawaii is. And talking with Stanford, they recognize, they see a lot of great teams, and they say this Hawaii team is the real deal. This is the best team that they play. Hawaii does deserve that #2 ranking. So there's no doubt that this Hawaii team is special, and even their opponents recognize it.
Charlie Wade, talk to him. You can kind of sense he feels pretty good about this team, thinks they have the potential to be pretty special with that win the other night. Now 8-10 in his tenure against the Cardinal. And there's Jalen Jasper again, just flashing the bounce. He gets up so sky high.
Yeah, hard to stop Jasper in a one-on-one situation there. Colton Cowell max jumping that time, but Jasper still finding a way to go over Cowell that time as well.
So 13 serving 20. Henkin with the serve. Pass by Stein. Worsley sets up Rado from the back row, and he gets it down again. Parapunov is on some kind of tear. Now 3 kills on 4 swings.
Rado just looking very natural, very comfortable. He knows when to hit his shots. That time there in out-of-system play, he went sharp inside the blockers for the cross-court kill. See him hitting .451 on the season.
Good pass there. Here's Jasper, one-on-one situation against Stein. And Jasper with that very over-the-top arm swing, able to get the kill. Six kills now for Jasper, so already much more active. He had 7 kills for the entire match the other night, but the ill-timed out-serve gives Hawaii the break.
Yeah, Jasper hitting .556, so you can already see he recognizes his role and the role he's going to need to play tonight as we see James Anastasiadis coming to the match.
Anastasiadis, born in Cyprus, but moved to California prior to his senior year in high school and attended and played for Huntington Beach High School. Makes the one-handed save there. Cowell sets up Stein, and he goes off the block and out. I mean, it's just all working here in this first set for Hawaii.
Yeah, it's good to see Anastasiadis getting involved. Nice defensive play. So one of the things when you bring in a serving specialist, not only do you want a guy that's going to be able to put the pressure on the opposing serve receive, but you want someone who can play defense and give your offense a chance to score. Anastasiadis doing that play to a perfect example of it.
6'5" redshirt junior with the serve. Outside set. It's Ewert blocked back. Now Jasper tried to go line, missed it wide. That was authoritative for sure. But it missed, and Hawaii has Aloha ball here in the first set. So almost a carbon copy of what we saw in the opening frame 2 nights ago. Jump serve coming from Anastasiadis into the twine. Third service error for Hawaii. They got a pretty good ratio going. 3 service errors to 3 service aces. Charlie will take that.
And a nice cushion here to side out for the set win.
Here it comes from Jasper. Remains Aloha ball. Worsley goes back row to Colton Cowell. And he delivers an exclamation point to put a capper on an impressive first set performance. Just like Friday night, Hawaii takes the first stanza 25-15. Well, they'll swap sides. The Rainbow Warriors will try to stay super on Super Sunday.
Rainbow Warrior Volleyball on Spectrum Sports is sponsored by Bank of Hawaii and Hawaii Honda Dealers.
Welcome back. Hawaii hitting 619 in that first set, Ryan, and it was a balanced attack offensively.
Yeah, we talked about it at the keys. Track Joel Montana Worsley because he is distributing the ball to a number of players. 3 players right now. Well, excuse me, 4 players with 3 or more kills, showing that Hawaii's offense is clicking. And for the Cardinal, Jasper, 6 kills, hitting 400 from the left and right. A much better outing than on Friday night. He will continue to have to carry this team, and he's going to need help right now. Jasper, again, as we mentioned, with 6 kills. The next player is Presho with 2. So they're going to need to get more offensive help in other areas if they want to compete here tonight.
Yeah, Jasper, 7 kills for the entire match the other night, hit a $130. So certainly upping his game here in the rematch. But just like Friday night, it was a 25-15 final score after set 1 in favor of the Rainbow Warriors. So another uphill climb in front of the Stanford Cardinal to try to even things up here with Charlie Wade's crew.
And it looks like both of these teams are starting in their same rotation, so we'll see the same matchups. Oftentimes in night number 2, we sometimes see some shifting of the rotations. Coach is hoping to get a different lineup. We're seeing the same matchups here in set 2.
Worsley with the serve. Here's Jasper on the outside. The touch shot sniffed out by Joe. So Gage sets up Patapunov. And a 2-hand save by Bischoff. D'Agostino sets up Hankin. It's blocked back. Here's Jasper again. Had to wait for that set. And that was just a straight vertical jump and put down.
Amazing. Just hung in the air at that time. Had a variety of options. Go sharp cross cut shot right in front of a diving Gage Worsley.
John Costi saying, hey, Jalen Jasper, he's only a sophomore, didn't play a ton of organized volleyball in his high school days, was still the #1 recruit in the nation. But he says there's a lot of room for growth in his game.
That was a first-team All-MPSF selection in the 2008 ABC Honorable Mention All-American. They believe that he has a bright future in the sport, just going to need some time to sort of learn the game.
Here he is again. Great scoop there by Patapunov. Joe lays out to send it across. Middle set, that's Moy. And he finds that deep corner to get the Cardinal the point.
Moy picking up his second kill that time. Great defensive play by Parapunov, though, pulling off the net, showing why it's important for off blockers to always be ready. Jasper went sharp cross court, dug up by Parapunov temporarily before that Moy kill.
Good to see some of the hardcore fans coming out here on a Sunday in which, you know, people throwing barbecues, throwing their Super Bowl parties, still coming out to support the Bows. I think word's getting around. This is a team to behold, and there's nothing like checking them out in person here at the Stan Sheriff Center.
Yeah, nice sized crowd for Super Bowl Sunday. And not a lot of opportunities left, believe it or not, for this to watch this Warrior team in action. So if you're watching this at home, make sure to get down here at some point this season.
Only 8 more home matches for the Rainbow Warriors as Jasper goes into the net. So did your team win the Super Bowl?
Not at all. No, they weren't even playing.
What would that team be?
Tennessee Titans.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm a Lions fan, so the playoffs are completely irrelevant for us. Here's Cowell off the block. Outside, it's Ewert. And he makes it work. Ties this second set up at 3. The more important question should have been, did you take the under?
The lowest scoring Super Bowl in NFL history.
Oh, my goodness.
This is where the real action is.
That's
now.
right.
This is the real action.
I mean, who'd have thought, right? For Stein. Dropping the hammer.
That just sounded like a heavy hit. I mean, this ball came with some velocity behind that. Von Tilburg again hitting that pipe set that he loves also well. Von Tilburg now with 3 kills, hitting .750.
Yeah, no errors for him. Just 1 hitting error so far in this match for Hawaii. Outside, it's Ewert, and he touches it down the line. He was able to read that block perfectly. Ewert, who had the prolific kill night on Friday. He now has 3 on 12 attempts. He's flatlining it at the moment, though, and he's back to serve. Second on the team in kills. Jasper is their leader at 3.87. Overpass hammered home by Paul Bischoff. Paul Bischoff, who missed 19 matches last year due to injury. And that setter position is all his here in 2019. And boy, did he handle that overpass. Boy, did Rado handle that set to get the point on the side back to the Bows.
And again, showing just how complex this Hawaii offense is. That time again, Soberg going off for a fake back one off of 1 foot. Joe Worsley setting the D or red ball for the Parapunov kill.
Powell with the serve. Good pass there by Ewert. They go outside, and it's Hankin delivering the crush.
Hankin getting his first kill. Hawaii just missing some blocking assignments that time. Hankin with an open net, putting that ball away.
Hankin getting an opportunity to play a little bit more regularly with the injury to one of their other outside hitters, Eric Beatty, out of Huntington Beach High School. He's out a couple of weeks with what John Costi describes as a volleyball injury. That makes sense.
I'm not sure what a volleyball injury is.
It would be awful if you said it was a football injury. Six serving 6. Pass there by D'Agostino. Outside, it's Hankin again trying to go hard angle. And he finds that near sideline. So they're trading blows here in set number 2.
And again, another one-on-one opportunity. See Gaspin getting stuck there in the middle. The tempo of the set by Stanford being sped up just a little bit to try to beat this Hawaii block.
Bischoff serves it long. The service errors, they're mounting here for Stanford. That's now 7 out serves for the Cardinal.
And if your philosophy is to be consistent, that's an area where they're failing because they're not necessarily hitting their serves with a lot of velocity, so they've got to be more consistent if that's their strategy coming into this match.
Middle set, that's Moy blocked back. So Jasper sets up Hankin, diving save by Gage Worsley. Stein cross court but wide. And a missed opportunity there for Von Tilburg. Just the second hitting error of this match for the Bows.
How about this save? Gage Worsley diving to the sideline with the left hand. Could not execute for Hawaii though, as Von Tilburg picks up his first hitting error of the night.
Diving pass there by Gage. Middle set to Gassman, sort of wiped it to that back corner. Jasper goes off the block and out. We are seeing a much more assertive and efficient Jalen Jasper. He already has 8 kills. That surpasses his match total from the other night. He just looks a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, mixing up his shots as well. He's hitting both line, sharp cross court. Really doing a nice job of keeping this Hawaii block guessing. Another thing Stanford is doing in this second set a lot better is they're passing better. They're able to run their offense, creating more opportunities for their hitters to have better looks at the net.
So 9 serving 7, Stanford in front by a pair. Worsley goes backside to Stein. It was tight to the net and he made it work. Well, what's the call here? Looked like it went off the block and out, pretty routine, but now we're having a discussion between the line judge, Melinda Rusher, and Dixon Chun.
I mean, it looked to me from here that this was definitely off the block. You can see Jasper's hand, oh yeah, off the block and actually out to the antenna. I mean, if there's ever a call to challenge, I think this would be a great call for Charlie Wade. Looks like they're consulting right now before the challenge card is even pulled out, or challenge paddle, I should say.
All right, so they will give Hawaii the point. Rightfully so.
So I think she called out, meaning out of bounds off the antenna. And they're just clarifying the call.
You're good to see that. You like to see the officiating crew talk amongst themselves and get some of that stuff figured out without having to resort to replay. There's Jasper one-on-one, dug up by Stein. Tight to the net, played off the net by Gassman. Hawaii has to return it. So advantage here for the Cardinal. They go middle to Moy, diving save by Von Tilburg. Backside, Rado. Good up there by Bischoff. Ewert goes down the line, Worsley returns it. Stanford goes backside, it's Jasper, cross court, dug up by Joe. Gage sets up Harapunov, he two-hands it over. So Stanford scrambling a bit. It's D'Agostino setting up Ewert off the block and down. And the Cardinal win a lengthy one.
Great defense on both sides of the net. We saw Stein Von Tilburg diving back there. Joe Worsley as well. D'Agostino continuing to impress with his defensive skills. And Ewert, again, tooling the block. We talked about this on Friday night. Ewert is not necessarily the heaviest hitter in the gym, but he's extremely smart that time, wiping the 3 blockers of Hawaii.
4th kill there for Ewert. And following it up with the ace is Stephen Moy. And Stanford sitting pretty here as we approach the midpoint of this second frame. Crowd trying to turn up the volume knob and maybe give them partial credit for that out serve.
You see Jakob Tella coming into the match. A very consistent server off the bench. A left-handed server that serves from the left, so it provides a different look for serve-receive pattern.
A reserve setter on the roster from Tonsberg, Norway, was the Norwegian Talent of the Year in the top division of the prep ranks last year. Here's Jasper one-on-one with Cowell, and Colton gets the touch. Worsley to Rado, cross court and in.
Harapunov just has so many shots. This is a shot, however, that he loves. That sharp cross inside, right in between the defenders in areas 1 and 2. See his numbers from Friday night, 17 kills. He hit 375 with 4 blocks, an area that I think he has improved vastly in the blocking department.
Outside, Ewert against the double block. Some high cheddar down the line against Joe Worsley. You know, getting back to Harapunov, though, you hesitate to make this comparison because, I mean, it is so vaunted when you call this name, but, I mean, to see that lefty swing and what we are seeing out of Rado Panapunov these days, it is Yuval Kotz-like, is it not?
It definitely is, and it's not a name that you compare a lot of players to. You know, there's, I think, only a handful of players that played in the same position on that opposite that you can sort of compare to Yuval. Rado Panapunov, for sure, is putting himself in that category with the numbers he's putting up this year.
Yeah, I mean, Yuval, you're talking about one of the Mount Rushmore guys of this program.
Another opposite player that drew comparison to that Jonas Umlauf from a few years ago.
Outside, Ewert. That one goes off of the head of Solberg and hit the scoreboard and back over to the Stanford side. So in that case, it is not playable. Let's take a look as Dalton took a shot.
Yeah, a little late to close that time. And the thing is, you don't want to touch your head after you get hit in the head.
Oh, Worsley caught him off guard. That brings Hawaii back within one.
And again, Worsley picking his moments at the right time. His first kill of the night.
Hawaii and Stanford didn't play last season. It was the first time in many, many years that Hawaii and Stanford, in fact, first time since 1980 that Hawaii and Stanford didn't match up. Just one of the regular rivalries in both men's and women's volleyball, really. Last time they played was in 2017. Hawaii swept that series, hoping to do the same here in 2019. Here's Panapunov from the back row. The high arching dink is returned. Worsley goes up and just dunks it down.
Worsley didn't have a lot of options on that play. A pass tight to the net. You knew he was going to dump it. You just didn't know where he was going to go that time, deciding to almost tool the left-handed hand of the outside.
And so we are tied now for the 8th time here in a very tightly contested set number 2. And Colton Cowell will serve. And he just missed wide. Charlie in front of the Hawaii bench thought it was in, and he was thinking, he had a notion about challenging that call, but I think either one of his players or
I think it was the Antes.
Maybe.
He gets off to the Antes. They've been enough volleyball to know when to pull out the paddle or not.
Oh, Worsley gets the point back.
Worsley 3 for 3 in that last 3 plays. Calling his own number. Picking up his 3rd kill.
Hawaii hitting 500 here in set 2. 576 for the match. And Solberg to serve. A couple of aces already, forces the overpass, played by Rado. Worsley goes high and away to Stein. Missed it wide, trying to go down the line. And it's a point for the Cardinal. They get to 15 first. So timeout on the floor. Stein wished he had that one back. Will be back. Welcome back. Let's check out tonight's Jackback. Preseason All-Americans. Rainbow Warriors picked to the 2019 off-the-block preseason All-America teams include Stein von Tilburg on the first team and setter Joe Worsley on the second team. A lot of preseason accolades for both of those guys. Worsley on the Loy Ball watch list given to the nation's best setter. Von Tilburg on the Karch Karai Award watch list given to the best outside. And he hits from the opposite position. The antenna goes crumbling down, but it's a kill and a point for Hawaii, and Pat Gassman just doing some of the dirty work, some of the blue-collar stuff.
It helps when you're that tall. You don't necessarily even need a ladder. The stand chef crew usually brings out a stool to set up the antenna. Pat Gassman's like, I got this.
Rado coming over to help line it up here. Yeah, they're checking it out. They could use a leveler maybe or something.
Other duties as assigned.
Pat Gassman, a man of many talents. He played some football in high school at Buchanan High School in Clovis, California. Back row, it's Ewert. No blockers up against Jordan Ewert that time.
And that's a play we didn't see Stanford run a whole lot of on Friday night. So this is a new play that they're actually implementing to sort of catch Hawaii off guard, is that pipe set out of the back row. Hawaii runs it a lot. We just didn't see it a lot from the Cardinal on Friday night.
Worsley, back row to Cowell. Oh, my word.
And Cowell just says, I'll counter you. Exact same play, comes flying out of the back row. So we take a look at the replay. Kachi music, Maka wow. Colton Cowell giving his fans back home on Maui something to celebrate.
Even had the Cowell cheering section holding all the signs up except for the letter W, which kind of ruined the moment, to be honest. Here's Rado off the block. Gage, high ball set to Cowell. Good chase down there by Ewert. He gets the set on the outside against the double block. Gage Worsley with the scoop. Joe Worsley goes backside to Rado. The dink! Finds the floor.
And this is where we've seen Hawaii sort of begin to pull away. In the latter parts of each of the sets, they sort of turn it into another gear. We'll see if they can continue on this run. Smart play by Parapunov that time. He got a little early into the set, took a neutral, and ended up getting a kill.
Well, Rado and Stein each with 6 kills to lead Hawaii. Here's Jasper. That was powerful.
This hit is just ridiculous. I mean, you could hear the groans from the crowd. Take a look at this. He gets so high and just sharp cuts this ball back down almost in the 10-foot line. That's one for the highlight reel for him.
He is a physical specimen. And to think he's still somewhat raw, at least by comparison to some of the other sophomores across the country, as Gassman lays into that set.
It's his first kill of this second set. He had a great first set. It all starts with a pass from Gage Worsley. Gassman with 4 kills now, hitting 500. Much more offensive than we saw in opening weekend.
And now he serves the deep floater. They go middle set. That's Presho. And he missed the court wide. A rare error for Kyler Presho, who is hitting .437 on the season coming into tonight. And so the Cardinal take a timeout. They trail by 2. Welcome back. Let's check out how it works, presented by Central Pacific Bank. Ryan, what are we looking at?
This is a play we saw in set number 1. You have Dalton Soberg. He's going to go in for a 3-set right here. And then Colton Cowell will come actually in the middle and hit a second tempo set. You can see here the execution here. Right down the middle. A play that catches players off guard, and it worked to perfection that time for Hawaii.
Well, returning to live action, and perfection once again achieved by Rado Parapunov. Another great set. It is now a 5-1 Rainbow Warrior run. And what you didn't see while we were showing you how it works clip was Jasper getting dug up in the back row by the Rainbow Warriors. So a great defensive play leading to the Parapunov kill. Hawaii up 2, but they got Jalen Jasper serving. Team leader in aces. 10 on the season. And here he comes with the jump serve. Pass by Cowell, it's a good one. Back row set to Stein. We talked about it a little bit the other night, Ryan. Hawaii has not one but 2 players in Stein and Colton Cowell who can hit that set.
And it's a very difficult set to defend if you're the Stanford team, because you have to commit with a player like Dalton Soberg, because he hits his 3 so quickly that you have to commit, leaving that pipe set vulnerable like we just saw there.
Rado with the serve. Jasper chases down the second touch, but it winds up in the stands. And a service ace for Rado Parapunov. And another timeout signaled by John Costi. And the Cardinals, just like a couple of the sets the other night, even when they have played competitively, as it gets to that final turn, Hawaii just turns on the boosters.
Yeah, brutal, deadly serve. You can see there Jasper makes an attempt to go after that. But that's the kind of play that I think Coach Costi was talking about. I thought that was a very diggable ball that Jasper actually ran after and just kind of lost his bearings, kind of hitting it into the stands. But credit Rado Parapunov. I think if there's one part of his game that he really improved on, it's the consistency from behind the service line. Last year, he of course had that deadly serve, but there was a lot of errors, just very inconsistent. This year, he's really worked hard to not only put the pressure on them, but to keep it in, and it's paying off to be one of Hawaii's strongest rotations.
So Parapunov, 7 kills on 12 attempts. He's hitting .583, no errors, and he has the 2 aces, Ryan.
Yeah, he is just such a dominant player, and as the season goes along, is proving to earn those comparisons to a player like Yuval Katz. In out-of-system plays, he goes sharp cross-court. He has the high line shots, and his blocking is vastly improved. And tonight, once again, proving to be a valuable offensive attack for Hawaii.
He was all smiles walking into the arena as the Super Bowl was just ending. As it turns out, he was rooting for the Patriots. I said, well, why are you a Patriots fan? He is from Sofia, Bulgaria. What's the connection? He said, because they're the best team. I said, well, that's easy.
He goes for the best. Have a substitution here. Jackson Van Ekren.
So 6'6" redshirt sophomore from Naperville, Illinois.
More for blocking purposes. He will take over the setting duty.
22 serving 18. Here it comes from Rado. Oh my goodness, it just fell off the table.
And this is the same rotation that he served in all match long. We'll see if they go into a 4-man passing formation now, and they do. They pull Jasper up, and this is where head coach Charlie Wade urges Parapunov to go for the same serve, not to try to thread the needle and go after Jasper just because he's in this lineup. Let's see where he goes.
Took a little something off that time. D'Agostino with the pass. We go back row. Henkin is blocked. Diving save there by Jasper. Ewert is blocked and roofed. Jackson Van Ekren.
Credit the Hawaii coaching staff for that blocking sub. Great timing. Jackson putting up a nice solid wall that time, all the way out to the pin at a perfect time for Hawaii.
Talk about filling your role. Van Ekren in on the block, and it is aloha ball here in set number 2. Middle set, that's pressure, misses wide. Point Hawaii, and they take set number 2, 25-18. Looks of dejection around on the Stanford side of the net. Meanwhile, the Rainbow Warriors head back to the locker room with a chance to crack open the broom closet. Welcome back inside the SSC. Kanoa Leahy next to Ryan Calais. Suji, Ryan, take us through the McDonald's match statistics.
Well, the numbers speak for themselves. Look at this hitting percentage by Hawaii at .558. That's a very lofty number. And the digs as well. Not only are they doing it offensively, but 21 digs, giving themselves a chance to play defense around. The blocking, not very good on both teams. 2 for Hawaii, 1 for Stanford, and that hitting percentage by Stanford at .250. The service errors also adding up for the Cardinal with 9 service errors.
So I guess the question becomes how much of, you see some of the deficiencies on the Stanford side, hitting percentage-wise, and certainly the service errors, how much of that is just self-inflicted, and how much of that is maybe because of, at least in part, what Hawaii is doing?
I think it's the latter. I think it's Hawaii is just so much to compete with the amount of offensive options. Their dynamic duo of Von Tilburg and Parapunov, both with 7 kills, both hitting over 500. It's hard to contain anything like that, let alone the service pressure that comes at you from behind the service line. Just a lot to contain and try to manage with all of that coming at you.
Another question would be, if you're Charlie Wade, do you try to get some run for some of your reserve players, and at least to start here in this third set? That will not be the case. I think Charlie understands this is a Stanford team that is very good, despite the fact that Hawaii has won convincingly through the first 2 sets. This is a Stanford team that can get it going, especially in the form of that guy right there, Jordan Ewart.
Yeah, Ewart, again, another kill from behind the 3-meter line. It seems like he has more kills from the back row than the front row right now. But Ewart with 8 kills, hitting 200.
Worsley goes back row to Colton Cowell, and it's almost been a game of can you top this between Cowell and Ewart.
Yeah, and I got to give the style points to Colton Cowell, because he's playing some dodgeball back there, hitting and knocking over some of the Stanford players. That pipe set is becoming his signature hit.
Good serve there by Worsley. So Ewart, high ball set to Jasper. 3 blockers up, and it's a return to sender.
Yeah, the biggest block that Hawaii can put up there with Gassman, Von Tilburg, and Parapunov. That ball looks like it's pretty much all Parapunov.
So 2 serving 1. Quick middle set, that's Moy, and it goes off the shoulder of Gage Worsley and into the seats.
And Moy continued to have a nice night, picking up his 3rd kill. And again, the pass allowing Stanford to run that offensive attack in the middle.
Hawaii hitting 558 through the first 2 sets. Back row goes to Cowell. Up the ladder and down the chute.
I mean, this looks like they got the letters figured out this time around.
Much better execution there, yes.
But the Stanford players are literally just sticking their hands out, and Cowell is just teeing off those defenders in the back row.
There's Jasper, and he powers it off the block and out of bounds. We are seeing some high-flying explosiveness. Jalen Jasper and Colton Cowell. You have Jasper on one side, touches over 12 feet. Cowell on the other side at 6'1", touches 11'7". Bringing the boom as well. Speaking of which, Pat Gassman delivers.
And no matter where the pass is, you've got to always expect Hawaii to be able to run the middles. Look at that. Worsley from behind the 3-meter line shoots that ball on a string to Gassman, who's incorporated a new serve, the standing float serve. And gets an ace right on cue. Gassman, who traditionally goes for the jump serve. We saw that all last season and in the earlier parts of this season. Tonight, staying on the ground, going for the deep float, picking up his first service ace of the season.
6th ace of the night for Hawaii. Jasper dug up by Joe over the net. Ewart, the free swing, blocked by Solberg. Ewart got up off the floor to take his 2nd swing, was blocked back again. Here's Jasper this time down the line. Too hot to handle for Von Tilburg.
Well, that was special. That was a nice play there. Ewart, you see here, getting blocked by Dalton, but then kicking it to keep it falling back on his backside, but Jasper hitting down the line off of Von Tilburg.
A little bit more of a compacted arm swing on that sequence by Jasper. Did the trick. Hawaii's still up 1. Back row set to Stein. And even the talented Kyle D'Agostino couldn't conjure up a save there.
This is becoming the pipe master show right here. 4 of Hawaii's kills come from all the back row. One player that I think Joe Worsley needs to go to in this set is Dalton Solberg. Only 1 set so far this entire match. Try to see if he can establish Dalton a little more in this offense.
Dorado with the hot serve. Dorado with the ace. Parapunov now with 4 of a kind. 4 aces in the match.
And again, Coach Costley knew before coming into this series that this was going to be the big test. Will Hawaii's servers put the pressure on the passers? And they've certainly proven that they are the real deal from behind the service line. And Parapunov proving to be one of the best on this squad.
7 serving 4. Another brilliant serve by Rado. Winds up a free ball opportunity. Here's Potapunov off the block and out. This is an onslaught.
And again, Hawaii's back row attack is just as efficient as their front row. It seems like they have more kills in this set from behind the 3-meter line than they do in front.
Timeout Stanford. Rado Power Punov striking again. Hawaii has Stanford doubled up in the third. Well, maybe the block party hasn't been quite as extravagant as it was 2 nights ago, but the Akamai Roofing Report taking you through the 3.5 total team blocks for the Rainbow Warriors so far in this match against the Cardinal. As Rado Potapunov out of the timeout delivers another missile serve, but Jordan Ewert able to convert it into a kill that time. Hawaii hitting .833 in the early goings of this third set. 5 kills on 6 swings. And it is 5 serving 8 here. Ewert coming across with it. Cowell off the fingertips of the block, kept alive by Jasper. Henkin is blocked. Middle set, it's Presho blocked. Henkin over the shoulder swing, two-handed by Rado. Advantage now Hawaii. They go pipe set to Stein, but 3 blockers were waiting for him that time. And the Cardinal supply the roof.
Worsley asking for a double contact on that Jasper set. But there you see there, you were diving in to help out. Excuse me, Henkin's diving in to help out. First time they've been able to stop that pipe set all night.
Oh, Worsley missed the dump shot. Into the net, and just like that, 3 straight points by Stanford. And they're right back in the mix here in the third.
Joe Guinea pulled off just a little bit on that pass. I think he thought he was a lot tighter to the net. Fortunately, that ball landing on Hawaii's side.
Ewert the serve. Great pass there by Colton. Stein from the back row. And that time, the height of the set a little bit better, and Stein ripped into it.
And again, another new wrinkle. That was not necessarily your traditional pipe set. That was more in the C location, a little more off to the right. He comes behind. You can see there, Stein Von Tilburg going behind Joe Worsley, not in front. A different location, just a different added look for Hawaii.
Outside, Henkin blocked and roof. Joe says no to Leo Henkin.
Joe Worsley sealing that line. See, nice swing block. A lot of attackers may think that they can go through Joel Worsley, but proving to be a strong blocker despite being 6'1". And he says he's 6'1" because he actually said he grew an inch.
That's right, he did say that.
He thinks he hit sort of a late growth spurt. And said USA Volleyball measured him at 6'1". UH measured him at 6'1", so he's 6'1".
His brother Gage listed at 6'1", who, at least in that shot, looks a bit taller.
But when you can block, when you can block like that, it doesn't matter.
The way Joe's playing, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, the dump shot. Paul Bischoff decides to take a page out of the Joe Worsley book.
Yeah, great pass to start off by D'Agostino that time. On the money, Colton Cowell really let that rip. But D'Agostino putting up a perfect pass.
So here is Kyler Presho. One of the many Hawaii connections in this Stanford program with the serve. It's a great one, forces the overpass. But it's in! A bump kill by Stein, but I think we're going to have a challenge here from John Costi.
Ooh, this is one of the tougher ones.
Yeah. Now remember, the call on the floor was in, and so Dan Hironaka's going to take a look. And he's going to try to decipher whether or not there's enough evidence there to overturn the call. And that's always sort of the caveat, right?
So the question is, does it maybe hit that back part of the back line? This may be a better angle. Again, it just needs to hit any part of the line, and I think that's in.
That looks in right there.
Here. The high angle looks like to be the better angle, but it does look like Stein von Tilburg will get a pass bump kill.
And what's crazy about this is if the call had been out and the challenge was, say, by Charlie Wade to overturn it to call it in, I'm not sure if we would say that would be an overturn type of replay the other way. So it's just, that's how close this review is.
And it looks like we will have a verdict here.
The jury is in. And so is that Stein von Tilburg BK. So into double figures, Stein von Tilburg, that is his 10th kill. Doing it the more unorthodox way. As Hawaii now leads by 3 here in the third. Solberg. Back row. And that's Ewert.
And again, Ewert coming out from that pipe set, giving a little stare down after that kill. Ewert right now going into double digits with 10 kills, hitting 250.
So he and Jalen Jasper each with double figures. Jasper with 11 kills, leading everybody. Stein, the one-hand dig there by Ewert, nicely done. Henkin with 3 blockers against him. Layout saved by D'Agostino. Henkin tight to the net, ran out of room. And I think it was Joe Worsley who got the final touch to put it down on the Cardinal side of the net.
Joe Worsley in and at least 3 blocks so far for Hawaii, staying strong on the pin. An out-of-system play did not want to get used and was solid out there on the right side.
We haven't seen that short sort of lollipop topspin serve tonight from Worsley as Jasper goes off the block and out. That was something Charlie Wade talked about after the match. Remember Worsley in a couple of instances, as Charlie's actually going to call a review for this last ruling.
So Charlie's arguing and saying that after Jasper's hit, it went off the block and back off of Jasper. So there was Jasper, the last player to hit the ball out.
So Dan Hironaka will take a look at it. But getting back to Joe Worsley's serves, remember there were a couple instances where he tried to sort of pull the string, left it short into the net twice. And Charlie's saying, hey, look, that was actually the right call. He had the serve receive in the right position, and if it was just executed, it would have been brilliant. He said, you know, I'll probably see Joe rear back a little more again tonight, which is, in fact, what we have seen. What do you think? I don't know if this is going to get reversed.
Yeah, this is a hard call to make. I think it was right the first time. Doesn't look like he touched that ball again.
Well, you can't take the challenges home with you, so Charlie Wade getting a de facto timeout out of it anyway. But it remains a Stanford point. It actually hit our net cam. Whoa, whoa. You break it, you buy it. As you see the live look from our now injured net cam. Another out serve by Stanford.
If we want to see any replays of the balls hitting the scoreboard, we got the perfect angle now.
Yeah, there you go. Casualty of the battle on the floor. As Stein goes out as well. But 10 service errors for Stanford. That's got to kind of eat at the craw of John Costi, particularly when he was telling us his philosophy about, hey, look, if you don't serve it in, you don't have a chance to win that point. That's 10 giveaways here for Stanford in this match. Cowell up the elevator. Look at the chase down there by Bischoff. And the crowd applauds the effort.
Diving in the tunnel. But credit Colton Cowell again with the blast off the back row attack. You can see here trying to avoid the fans, avoid the lines in the contestation, and then a dive on the rug for good measure.
Testing the limits here of the playing surface in the Stan Sheriff Center. Served by Tella. Well, here's Jasper one-on-one with Cowell, and he gobbles up the opportunity.
Again, another sharp cross-court kill by Jasper. These two players going eyeball to eyeball, almost over the net because of their hops. Jasper again choosing to go with the sharp cross, picking up his 13th kill of the night.
So 12 serving 14. That one catches the net. So Worsley goes back row to Stein, and he's roofed. It was Bischoff next to Presho.
And so, if you're Stanford, you know, Dalton Soberg has gotten one set this entire match. You're not going to go with him, so you're going to go with Stein von Tilburg, diving back in, Bischoff, helping out on that right side.
Pass by Gage. Joe goes quick middle and right on cue. Solberg slams it. And Hawaii is first to 15. So timeout here in the third. The Rainbow Warriors up 2-0 against the Cardinal.
Welcome back to the Stan Sheriff Center. A little volleyball 101 here in the area and the positions on the court. Area 1 is right back. Area 2 is right front. Area 3 is middle front. Area 4 left front. Area 5 is left back, and Area 6 is middle back.
All right, well, thank you for that. What about Area 51? Where's that located?
That's up by in the Manoa Valley.
Jasper thinks it over the block. High ball set to Colton Cowell, blocked back, rattled around on the Hawaii side. Rado gets a good little lick on it. Jasper has to swoop in, and I don't think that got above the tape. So a 4-hit violation and a point for the Rainbow Warriors.
Again, Hawaii's defense just continues to keep them in these rallies and in these sets, and oftentimes it frustrates the opponents because every time you think you get a kill, Hawaii's defense coming to show up and really creating a difficult time getting those points.
Middle set pressure off the block and out.
Soberg's going to need some Tylenol after this match. He got hit again off the forehead. But as I mentioned, he's not going to touch it. It's not bothering him at all. Look here, pressure goes off right there, right in the middle. Straight attack. Let's see if Soberg can get a redemption right here.
Well, Worsley with an opportunity. Instead, he goes D-set to Rado, and he demolishes it for his 9th kill. So you pointed out the 6 areas. When does that most come into play in terms of the dialogue between the bench and the players on the floor?
Well, it's used to reference in all facets of the game. It could be used for serving. It could be used when you're describing a player and the positioning that they're hit. It can be used when you're describing where they tend to hit. So it's sort of just a reference point, sort of like the yard lines in a football field are the locations on a volleyball court.
Good save there by Cowell. Outside it goes to Stein with the left hand.
Again, Hawaii's defense, Colton Cowell patrolling middle back. That time, that set by Worsley a little too tight. He followed through with his left hand, which caused it to go tighter. But the thing about Stein von Tilburg, Stanford knew he was tipping. Stein von Tilburg just tipped it in a better area. Moved it around, tipped it more in the middle of the court.
With the opposite hand, just for style points. And that's going to be an ace for Colton Cowell. It hit the bottom of the scoreboard and wound up on the Hawaii side of the net. And the Rainbow Warriors up a handful here as Stanford signals for a timeout. This Rainbow Warriors squad is a force.
You know, and I think people around town are sort of starting to talk about it, as you see here, the ace by Cowell that hits the scoreboard. You know, and just going to places like Costco, people are asking me, hey, this team is pretty good. And they absolutely are. I mean, you know, we were mentioning, and we were talking off air about this, the starting 6 is good, but the next 6 off the bench is just as good. I mean, you have a player like Brett Rosenmeyer, who played all of last season, was a force out there, has not really seen a lot of playing time because of the evolution of Colton Cowell. You have some great recruits, and I think they continue to push this team as well. So this is a Hawaii team that is very talented. We may not see a team this talented and this deep for a while.
Well, to your point, this is Super Bowl Sunday. This is a relative holiday across the United States. And here in a Sunday evening match, Hawaii versus Stanford, the official turnstile number is 2,276, so over 2,000 coming into the building. Tickets issued, by the way, 3,500, but that's saying something. This town is starting to take notice of the fact that Charlie and the Volleyball Factory are doing something pretty special.
And they're just fun to watch. I mean, it's one thing, we love bringing you, of course, the matches here at Spectrum Sports, but it's another thing to see those hits from Colton Cowell from behind the 3-meter line, to see the Rada Parapunov and hear and experience it, because when you're in this building, it makes a different sound, and this Hawaii team, no doubt, is fun to watch.
Hawaii will hit the road next week to take on a couple of first-time opponents in program history. They'll go up against Queens University of North Carolina and St. Francis of Pennsylvania. Queens is an independent program. Began its first season of NCAA competition last year, while St. Francis competes in the Eastern Intercollegiate Volleyball Association and finished 9-20 last season. Another point for Hawaii. And then the Rainbow Warriors will return home February 15th and 17th against Lincoln Memorial. And then after that, they get into Big West Conference play. Starting off at UC Irvine. How about the roll shot by Cowell?
Colton Cowell mixing it up from behind the service line. And it's a very hard serve to read if you are a passer, because you're expecting this hard heater, but the changeup really causes the defenders to have to move up on the pass.
He tried to bring the heat.
Had that gone over the net, that clocked in at 71 miles an hour.
Unreal. Presho getting ready to serve. On his knees, Gage with the pass. Dset goes to Rado, and it's like clockwork. 10 kills now for Parapunov. He is still error-free. And now we see Brett Rosenmeyer checking into the match.
Brett Rosenmeyer, who has a very good serve in his own right. Hard to come off the bench, having not played at all. We'll see if he can get this ball in play.
The consummate team player, Brett Rosenmeyer. Back row set. Kept alive by Hawaii. Worsley takes a crack at it, and he finds the floor.
And with style points, Sue Gassman with a one-hand pokey set. You see that more on the beach. Just right there. Taps it up with one hand. Joe Worsley picks up yet another kill tonight. Worsley with 6 kills tonight, hitting .714.
Good serve there by Rosie. Back row, it's Ewert. And he silences the crowd momentarily. Question now becomes, obviously, as you start to see Charlie Wade get this team geared up for the next couple of weeks and into Big West Conference play. What do you foresee in terms of the challenges in the conference and how this team portends to compete in the Big West as Brett Rosenmeyer unleashes?
Hawaii actually allowing Rosenmeyer to stay in the back row, but this is a very difficult Big West Conference. As we take a look at this pipe hit by Rosenmeyer, you have UC Irvine, you have, of course, the defending national champion Long Beach. It's only going to get tough for Hawaii.
They rise at the SSC. Aloha ball for the match on Super Sunday. Middle set, Moy dug up by Joe. Rosenmeyer has to two-hand it over. Advantage Cardinal. Outside, it's Jasper. The roll shot right there is Worsley. So Cowell. Back set Stein. The dink is down. And this match is over. E kahi e lua aloha for the second night against Stanford. This was dominance personified, Ryan.
And Hawaii doing it, as you said, in dominant fashion. 15, 18, and 16 against the number 8 ranked team in the country. It is a statement that this Hawaii team is the real deal. They will now head on the road for the first time. and see if they can continue this hot streak. Have yet to drop a set this season.
5 players with at least 5 kills for Hawaii, led by Stein von Tilburg's 12. Rado Parapunov, 10 kills, no errors. He hits .588 on the night. As a team, Hawaii against the Stanford Cardinal hit .544.
Now the question will become, how will this team travel? You know, it's one thing to play here in the Stanford Center in front of your fans. It's a whole other element when you are playing in an opposing gym. But this is a team that has a lot of veterans. They are experienced. They know what it's like to win and to lose on the road. And they're just they understand how special this group is, and they will take this seriously, and they know they have work to do outside of Hawaii.
Bank of Hawaii presents the players of the match. Let's take a look. Jalen Jasper getting the call. 13 kills, hitting .253 digs, and Rado Parapunov once again 10 kills, hitting .588, had a block, 2 digs, and the 4 of a kind, 4 aces in the match.
I think that may be the most impressive part, was that consistency from behind the service line and the velocity of those serves. Parapunov proving to be a force from all areas of the court.
Take notice, folks. This team is the real deal. Again, they go on the road. They will play against Queens of North Carolina on February 7th. February 8th, they'll go up against St. Francis of Pennsylvania, then at Queens once again, and then back home against Lincoln Memorial February 15th, and the Hanaho on February 17th. Hawaii improving to 5-0 on the season. Stanford falling to 7-3 on the year. Let's send it over to Scott Robbs.
Coach, thought your team was pretty impressive Friday night, equally or more impressive tonight.
Yeah, we're getting, into nice rhythm here. Pretty productive, pretty efficient. I haven't seen the final numbers, but we had made very few errors through 2 sets, like a ridiculous number. So really happy with the performance, and just see lots of guys coming off the bench. We're rolling 8-9 guys out there that are all tossing up and cracking their serve, and we put it in play at over 90%. And nice to get Brett out there. It's just such a great team guy. He's worked really hard, and Joe setting the libero with the bic kind of at the end was nice. So yeah, nice weekend for us.
Yeah, you mentioned the serving. You guys put so much pressure on the opposing team from the service line. It's incredible.
Well, we just roll 8 or 9 guys. It's not like you get one night off for the guy. Dalton had that nice turn early, and last night he kind of had taken off, stayed down on the jump serve, and you saw Pat do that tonight. But we work a lot on it, and serving is one way that we can control the game. So it's something we're going to continue to work on, and certainly helps us a lot.
Okay, now you guys hit the road. You're going all the way to Charlotte, North Carolina, play a couple of matches against Queens and also St. Francis. What was the thought process in scheduling a trip that far away?
Well, it's just kind of the new reality now with, everybody's out traveling and playing non-conference, especially here in January and February. So we had to, St. Francis had a nice win at Ohio State this week. So, and there's that kind of RPI. You got to get out and play teams other than just the West Coast team. So good opportunity for us to get on the road, see how well we travel, and just kind of, again, kind of team working together and hopefully get some wins.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Aloha.
Kanoa.
Thanks a lot, Scott. How about this line, Ryan? Joe Worsley, 34 assists, 9 digs, 2 blocks. He had 6 kills and hit .714.
He can do it all. And I think, that's the thing that the Hawaii is going to need. I think an offensive Joe Worsley will only help this offense, and he's very good at it. He picks his spots well, and the more that he is offensive-minded, the more the other blockers are going to have to pay attention to that, and it'll thus free up his hitters.
All right, so once again, the final arithmetic, 25, 15, 18, and 16. Thanks once again to Ryan Kalei-Suji filling in here courtside for Chris McLaughlin, dealing with some voice issues this weekend. So a quick send out to Chris. Get well soon, my man. But for Ryan Kalei-Suji, I'm Kanoa Leahy. Corner Crew will break it down in the post-game show after this break. Until next time, everybody, we bid you aloha from the Stan Sheriff Center.